Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 3D... No, not the 3D NPCs, the non-player characters podcast. I'm your host, Matt. I'm joined by my lovely assistant, Lindsey, not assistant, co-host. Wow, all of the misogyny today. Just all misogyny. Hello, Lindsey, how are you?
All of the misogyny. I'm good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. And today we're actually joined by an old friend of mine, and fellow gamer, and ex-podcaster, Kim Leo Jensen, also as I like to call him, the Doverkin, or Doverkim. Doverkim, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks. And hello, audience. I was about to say viewers, like on a certain other podcast, but yeah.
The traditional awkward Kim hello has happened now. It's out of the way. The cherry has been popped. Everything's fine. We can just move on. We can just move on, guys. We're moving on. Guys, I said we're moving on. Anyway, so I'd like to apologise for the lateness. I think we're about, 1 week late with the podcast, 2 weeks late. That's just my fault. We were banking on an interview. That interview didn't happen, and then I just kind of spaced the rest of the podcast. So, there you go. Other than that, let's talk about what we've been playing today. Yeah. I forgot to... While Lindsey tells everyone what she's been playing, I'm going to set a timer for the podcast. So, Lindsey, what have you been playing this week?
What I've been playing a lot this past couple weeks is Shovel Knight. I realize I'm late to the party, as always, which it's like, it's never a party until I show up. It's like, oh, Shovel Knight's been out for months. I'll be like, wait, what's that? No. And then, like, I'm playing Shovel Knight. I'll be like, this is amazing! Has everybody played this? You have? Okay.
Okay, I'll sit in my corner now.
I'm gonna go sit and finish Shovel Knight. But, it's one of the games that I've, like, become really dead set on completing and getting all of the achievements. So, I think I've got 75% of them so far, which
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
pretty proud of. Yeah,
I have no idea how many I have yet. Have you finished Hard Mode yet? Or New Game Plus?
I just started New Game Plus, and I beat, King Knight.
Yeah, wait until you get to the final fight with the Order of No Quarter, where you only get food every 2 bosses.
Yeah.
And if you use your Trowel Chalice, then they don't reset after you die. So you have to leave the level, go get your Trowel Chalices, do the level again, hopefully not lose too much health or use a Trowel Chalice on the way there, and then fight them again. I haven't done it. I failed that boss fight about 10 times and just said, nope, I'm done now.
Right, well, I think I'm gonna try and do the no checkpoint run through right now, which is what I've started to do right now, which is where you just go in and you bust all the checkpoints open, and then it's like, I beat the level.
Of one level, or of an entire...
No, the whole playthrough. I'm doing a whole playthrough without any checkpoints right now before I
can imagine that not being too hard.
Right, but I'm gonna tackle that before I decide to do New Game Plus again.
Yeah. The only problem with, like, a no checkpoint run is it's not exactly difficult, it's just annoying, because if you make a mistake and then die, like jump on some spikes or whatever, then you have to do the whole level again, not just, go back to the checkpoint.
Yeah,
that's another thing as well. In the New Game Plus, checkpoints are halved, so there's only half as many checkpoints in New Game Plus as there are.
Which is why I was thinking that would help me in New Game Plus, because I noticed that as I was playing. I was like, oh, there isn't as many checkpoints. And all of the food has turned into bombs and wants to hurt.
That was the dickiest bit of that game. I was like, oh, finally, food! And I opened the thing, it's like, bomb, bitch! Ha-ha!
Oh, you wanted to eat something? No.
Nope. Not happening.
But I'm in love with Shovel Knight.
Yeah, you've never stopped talking about it whenever we talk.
It's amazing. I love it.
I love the soundtrack.
Oh my gosh! Every time I'm at work, I listen to Shovel Knight.
Yeah, that's the nerdiest part for me is that now I have a different alarm for every day now when I wake up, and each one is a Shovel Knight song. It's beautiful.
It's my favorite one from that soundtrack is Tinker Knight's boss theme.
Yeah,
like the first part of the boss fight. Schema!
Track 22, that's how nerdy I am. It's the only one I know. It's the only one I know the number of. Oh no, Strike the Earth. Strike the Earth is track 4 or 5. I think.
4.
It's track 4. Strike the Earth is one of my favorites. That everyone when I think of the Shovel Knight theme, I don't think of the Shovel Knight theme. I think of Strike the Earth instead. So Shovel Knight's awesome. Kim, have you played Shovel Knight?
I have not, but talking about the music, a lot of indie games do tend to have really cool music.
Yeah,
because a lot of the AAA just go the orchestral route. I mean, I really like the music in Skyrim, but it's not that memorable.
Yeah, I don't remember any specific tracks. Other than obviously da 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 ba da ba ba ba.
Yeah, that's the melody they've used for so long. But the music itself, it was good. It was just very.
FTL and Risk of Rain both have good soundtracks. Oh, and Dust Force. Dust Force was one of the most
Story.
unique ones. Cave Story, and I have Cave Story. I've had it for like a year, and I've just been like, meh.
Oh, the music in that is so good.
Yeah, I should play more indie games because the only indie game I could think of, but I know that has really good music, is Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami does have good music. Is Hotline Miami 2 like? Has any news on that come out recently? Like, because it's not out yet, obviously, but when is it getting released?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Hotline Miami 2. I didn't even know it was.
To Google while Lindsay tells us the next game she's been playing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Again, Shovel Knight has consumed my life for like the past couple weeks, but I did get into Dragon Age Origins. I really love the Mass Effect series, so I figured I'd also really like the Dragon Age, and so far, I've really enjoyed it. The Dragon Age, yes.
Have you kids been playing the Dragon Age?
Get off my lawn.
Get off my dragon.
Get off my dragon.
My dragon.
Dragon. But yes, the Dragon Age, which I'm gonna stick to it. I've really enjoyed it so far. I like the storytelling. Combat No, I don't like that as much.
The combat's not brilliant. But that's like, whenever someone plays Dragon Age, even people I know have already played through it, I just say, just slap it on easy and just go. Cause you just want to get through the combat as quick as possible.
Yeah, it's not fun.
What's your party at the moment?
Let's see. I have
for the Dragon Age.
The Dragon Age. In the Dragon Age, I have
In the Dragon Age.
In the Dragon Age, I have me. I'm just a normal shield and sword warrior. Swordboard. And then I have Alistar, right? That's his name.
Alistair.
Alistar.
That sounds like a Mega Man character.
That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. Just like in the game. He's like Alistar, and I'm like, no, it's Alistar.
That's a really camp version of Alistair. Alistar!
He has like a pink scarf and everything.
He throws glitter at his enemies.
He throws glitter at his enemies.
Love it!
Like right in their face. And then I have Morrigan, that's her name. It's been a while since I played it. And then I got the religious lady that I don't like, that I just keep out of my party.
What, Liliana?
Yeah.
Why don't you have Shale? Get Shale! Shale's cool!
Shale? I haven't played it that far yet.
You need to get Shale.
Get...
Shale's the best character. Shale.
Then I got
Okay.
Sten. Is that his name? The big dude
Sten's
with the dreads?
cool. I love Sten.
I love Sten.
One of my favourite things about Sten, it's a minor spoiler, but it's not like a story spoiler, it's just like a Sten spoiler, is, you want at one point ask him, do you like anything about Ferelden? And he's like, you have interesting foods. And you're like, interesting foods? These little bready things, but sweet and crumbly. I just love it, he's like, sweet and crumbly. I'm just like, yes! Sten has a sweet tooth!
Then you ask him, you're like, Sten, you like cookies? He's like, yeah, that's it.
You can actually use him to get into the Mage's Circle because of his love for cookies.
Oh, really?
You know, the guy that won't let you across to the Mage's Circle?
No.
Oh, right. Well, there's a dude that won't let you across on the boat. If you just talk to him with Sten, Sten will bribe him with cookies.
Oh, really?
It's amazing.
Well, I know who I'm taking with me for like all time now.
Each one of your characters that you take has a different way of like sort of blackmailing, bribing, or whatever. I think when I did it on my most recent playthrough, Morrigan did it, but each person has a different one. I think.
Yeah,
depending on who you have.
I like Morrigan, but the way that I'm playing through the game right now, she doesn't like me. And so I'm like, no, please, like me!
Trust me, it's so easy to get those characters to like you, even no matter what you do, you just give them gifts. Those characters can be bribed so easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Been spending all my time doing so far in the camp. I'm like me!
I actually also started playing Dragon Age.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, and I noticed a bit of the same. Like, I wanted her to like me, basically just because I wanted to see what story she would tell.
I thought you were going to say the god awful sex scene.
No.
The sex scenes in Dragon Age are awful.
Yeah, they weren't even that good in Mass Effect, so.
They were better than Dragon Age!
Well, I haven't made it that far yet. But yeah, the only thing I've seen yet is, like, I did something good for someone and I got, like, minus points with her, and I'm like, oh.
Basically, if you help people, she won't like it.
Yeah.
If you do a whole survival of the fittest mentality, she'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
Just Google the wiki.
Well, didn't want to spoil it.
Cheat! Cheat!
No, but yeah, it's kind of a hard game to get started with, I find.
Yeah, it's a dense game because for one, it's really long, and the combat is just kind of meh.
Yeah, the combat it's hard, but I like the story, so I truck on.
We're gonna get people in the comments now just feel like, I like the combat from Dragon Age.
And you can like the combat. You can.
Lindsay's the nice one. I was about to say, no, you're wrong. It's bad.
So you can vent your concerns to me, and I'll be nice and open about it. Just not with Matt.
Anything else?
Quick update on Hotline 2.
Oh yeah,
Hotline
it's late this year, early next year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, looking forward to that. I think I'll probably pick it up on the Vita because I found that the first one worked really well on that.
I think I'll get it on launch maybe because I enjoyed it. I think I didn't finish the last level of Hotline Miami though. Not because it was like too hard, just because. Have you ever had those moments where you just like get really close to the end of a game, or just any point in a game, and then just put it down, and then the next day you're just like, no, I don't feel like playing it right now. So you just don't ever play it for like a month.
Is it because like you're like, I'm done with this, or is it because no, I'm near the end of the game. I don't want to finish this game.
No, it's just literally like I gap it. I just stop playing.
Oh.
It's so weird. Like with Portal 2, I was so excited for Portal 2 to come out, and then it was released, and it just sort of like disappeared from my radar. And then a year later, I was like, I guess I should pick up Portal 2 now.
See, because I'm like the second part. I'm like. I was finishing Mass Effect 2 because I bought Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2, but I didn't have 3 yet. And I was coming near the end of Mass Effect 2, and I had like this sinking feeling. It's like, Mass Effect 2 is almost over. And I was like, no, it's not. And I saved it, and I turned it off, and I spent 3 days just sitting there like shaking in my chair. I want to play Mass Effect 2. But it's like, I didn't have Mass Effect 3, so I had to wait until I got Mass Effect 3. Then, like 2 hours after I got it, I finished Mass Effect 2, and then started 3.
I remember launch night of Mass Effect 3, I was sat in front of my computer waiting for the digital version to go live, and then my dad came in and was like, what are you doing up? And I'm like, Mass Effect 3 is coming out soon. And he just shook his head and closed the door.
Nice.
And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself.
That's the story Lindsey told about waiting to complete. That's so weird. Like, you knew you would be too impatient, so you forced yourself to be patient before you reached the end. That's so weird somehow.
Yeah.
Well, and Matthew can attest to this. I am not a patient person.
No.
I'm not patient. I'm not patient. So the fact that
you were hell when you were waiting for your game in PC to arrive.
Oh, dude, like, I have it now, and I'm so happy. Because when we did our last podcast, I didn't have it, and I was murmuring about it. I was like, I wish I could play PC games, but Now I have it, and it's amazing and wonderful, and I probably already have too many Steam games.
Yeah, you have the opposite effect. I have too many in the sense that I have so many that I'm like, I don't know which to play. You have so many that you're like, where do I start?
Yeah.
Which is partially my fault, because I had like a bunch of Humble Bundle games I didn't want, so I'm like, here, Lindsay, take them!
And you just kept buying me games, so I'm like, ah! And friends are giving me games, I'm like, I don't know what to do with all of these!
Nice.
Wait, what were those games that you bought that I didn't understand why you had them?
Was it Two Worlds 2?
Yeah, why do you have Two Worlds 2?
Hey, I just don't know.
I think it was...
No one knows why.
I figure it'll be a good LOL game.
No, I won't.
I think Angry... to name someone else, but Angry Joe gave it, fairly good reviews.
Pro Jed said Two Worlds 2 was better than Two Worlds 1, but it was still, like, compared to other games, was crap.
I'll play it on my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Lindsay's starting a YouTube channel, by the way, viewers.
I'm starting a YouTube channel.
Yay! Kim isn't.
Nah, I thought about it, but yeah.
Kim had big plans and then was just like, meh.
Yeah, it's hard. Too much work. Nah, it's just, being able to make good content and,
do what I do and make shit content!
Yeah. No, I mean, you have a sort of sense. It's like drawing. Like I can't draw anything. I can make a stick figure or something like that. Mm-hmm. And if I started working on a big drawing, it just wouldn't come to. It would be the biggest disappointment ever. And that's how I feel with anything creative. Like it doesn't seem to be the case with you, from what I can tell. You seem to have nice artwork and stuff. Nice videos.
Yay!
But yeah. Just a side note. Anyway, Matt,
Lindsay, what else have you been playing?
Oh,
have you played anything else? You new gamer,
What else
you?
have I been playing? What else have I been playing? Let me look at my games. Battle Block Theater
Risk of Rain.
and Risk of Rain. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we completed Battle Block Theater. We finished it. There isn't a last level that is like super impossible or anything. We finished Battle Block Theater. The ending was great. It was happy and funny, and we finished Battle Block Theater.
Yeah, totally. He won't play it with me anymore, and I want someone to play it with. And I've played Dark Souls.
Tried.
I tried. I've played 2 hours of it so far, and I just say, Matthew, like, I swear, like, false advertising. He made Dark Souls look fun. Dark Souls is not fun.
Dark Souls is awesome.
I'm sure I'll get more into it.
She's stuck on the rats, viewers.
Yeah, the stupid rats. I just sit there on, like, the edge of, like, the hallway, and I'm like, not the rats. Not the rats.
You've played Dark Souls, haven't you, Kim?
Yeah, I did. I got it for the Xbox at first, I think. And, yeah, but, I'm not good at those games either, so I was stuck at that, first dragon mini-boss thing. Not quite rats, but it took me a while to get past that. And,
which was the dragon mini-boss?
It's like the very first thing you fight, I think. You attack it from above, hit it in the head, and...
Oh, the demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stray demon. Wow, Lindsay got further than Kim.
Well,
hey.
I did get past that, but
oh, right.
I'm just saying I had trouble with it.
You're not the only one, Kim. It's hard.
Yeah, but the thing, I know what you mean by Matt making it look good, because every time I see someone play this, it's like, look how easy it is, and it looks like, once you beat it, it's so satisfying, but I just get to some point where some dude shoots me with arrows and I can't do anything about it. Or I have to run across a bridge where...
It is really satisfying to win in that game. Like, Lindsay was there for when I beat Dark Souls 1 and 2, weren't you? You were there for for Dark Souls 2 as well.
Yep.
Because I've beaten them both now. And I think I definitely got more excited when I beat Gwyn. Because I think I, just danced around my room when I beat Gwyn. When
Yeah,
I
he
beat
did.
Dark Souls 2, I was just kind of like, ah.
Yeah, he was done. He's like, I'm done.
Dark Souls 2 was fun, but easy. Well, or maybe I was like a lot of people were saying like, oh, Dark Souls 2 was too easy. I think it's just because we like all those people were just got really good at Dark Souls 1. You know?
Yeah.
So. But Dark Souls 2 is like, if anyone's gonna get into Dark Souls, get Dark Souls 2 first. Because you don't have to deal with, like, poison has been nerfed in Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 1, poison is like, oh, you're poisoned? Well, good luck having no Estus flasks.
Ridiculous. Because those rats poison me every single time, and I'm like, well!
Those
And
rats.
I still don't get why you have trouble with it.
Isn't that
Because
up
you're
the
just-
hill after you've entered that other realm kind of thing?
Mm.
Yeah, those
think
are
so.
like super easy.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Nah, I'm
Let's
kidding.
just favor, yeah. Let's build up her confidence and then crush it.
No, I'm kidding. I can't remember that well. I just remember isn't there just one rat in that?
No, there's
Oh,
three.
there's 3 of them.
Oh, no, then I don't know.
There's
Then-
one in sort of like the little sewer bit running up to it, but then there's like 3 in one room.
Oh.
And they 2 of them attack you at once, and then one like is waiting around a corner. Because Lindsay beat the first 2 and was like, yes! And then the third one just jumped
That
out
was
and poisoned her. And I was like, alright, well, Lindsay, have you got anything else, or shall we move on to Kim?
No, go Kim.
What have you been playing, Kim?
Well, started off with a lot of Payday 2. I don't know why I saw some interesting stuff about it and decided to start playing it. And it's actually gotten really fun. If you meet the right people, that is.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with like Left 4 Dead and stuff.
Yeah.
Fun fact for the viewers, me and Kim met through playing Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, no. I
You were
think.
playing Bill.
Yeah, I remember the map is the hospital one.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just remember your voice with the end battle with the tank. Usually kill everyone. Yeah, but Payday 2, I would say, is a lot more challenging than Left 4 Dead, because Left 4 Dead, there is a chance of completing that alone. There isn't with Payday 2.
Yeah, you don't have AI in Payday 2, do you?
You do, but
right.
they can, they don't get in the way if you want to go stealth. But it's just so hard to go stealth without having, someone to watch the cameras.
Yeah,
or
you need to
spot
be coordinated,
parts.
don't you? Like, I was watching a video of the people that were doing it. They like all simultaneously shot the cameras all at once with silenced pistols. And then immediately one of them ran to start taking hostages, and the other, and it was so precise, and I was just like, yeah,
exactly.
I'm not getting paid it too.
Yeah, well, it's a super fun if you have someone to play it with. So I've been looking desperately for people who play it seriously and adding them to my friend list. So it's sort of a desperate way of doing it, but it's it works better than joining a random game where. There's a lot of yeah, exactly.
Right.
No.
Well, I know another game that Matt's not ever gonna want to play with me.
Yep.
Oh, Payday. Nice.
It's not happening. Nope. Nope.
Well, you don't have to play stealth. You can also play, be loud. But it's really hard to get all, the best money out of that. So yeah,
I've never seen someone play through it though where they never attracted the police.
Oh well, I've done that.
I don't watch that many videos, so.
Oh well, yeah.
It'd be cool to see that where basically nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, I've had those, and so satisfying at the end. It's like, yes, we did it. No police. Win.
Winner.
Yeah. But yeah, then I put a little of this. In Beyond Earth because I'm a sucker.
Yeah, I want that game so bad. Save Beyond Earth looks so great. I mean, fans, it was my birthday 2 months ago. I'm not saying anything, but you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Sorry, what?
Wait, what?
Who? What? Who said
Yeah.
that? Who suggested something like that?
I don't
Who's
know.
exploiting their fans? It's definitely not me. I'm not
No.
saying anything, but I'll say this. Well, carry on, Kim. How is Civ Beyond Earth though? Like, cause I've watched Jesse and Krendor play it on Twitch, but I haven't obviously had hands on or anything.
It's well, what's both good about it and also slightly disappointing for some people is it's a lot like Civilization 5.
Yeah.
It's good in the way that Civilization 5 is a really good game, and it has exactly the same effect where you'll be playing for 10 hours, although you just thought you'd go in and check if you can upgrade one of your cities or this like.
No, you never play Civ for less than an hour.
No, exactly, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't touched Civ 5 in so long, is because I just fear I'm going to play all night.
Yeah, I actually
Not be
did
able
start
to
playing some of the multiplayer of Civ 5 recently with a friend I met at university, playing that, and he's in such a shit position, and I am the economic powerhouse of the world.
Nice. Yeah.
I went to war with someone and was just like, right, I'll just buy an army. Because I didn't have one, I was just like, right, buy one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Civilization games is you have these cool stories to tell at the time.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing one game, and I think, it was Beyond Earth I was playing, and the corporation representing, it's corporation, not countries,
Yeah.
this one. The one representing Australia basically screwed me over. They kept saying they were allies and we're good friends and give me some resources and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, fine. As long as I have some allies, things will be great. And then when things, started getting tough, he just said, I'm here to backstab you. So
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about Civ 5, or any Civ game, really. It's not like, I don't know, because I don't know, obviously, the code, but it does seem like if you're just really successful, and you haven't done anything wrong, eventually someone will go to war with you.
Well, from what I understand, it depends a little. It's like part of this their personality.
Yeah.
Because then it didn't last long, and I got killed and everything. But then it made a new game, and the same corporations started a city just next to me, and he started the same business, like trying to get me to become an ally. But I was just like, no, I did. I remember what you did in a past life, and I'm not gonna touch it. But I was so bitter about it that I just eradicated him as soon as I had an army.
He's just like, why are you doing this to me?
I guess we're not cut out to be warriors.
You're just like, they say thanks to your grandpa, and then you blow his brains out all over the Union Wall. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, so I was being a real dick, and everyone hated me. Even my closest allies were like, "You're a monster."
Yeah. My favorite part about my favorite sort of stories have always come from the fact that I've done really really well, and then someone's gone to war with me, and then they've tried really hard, and the war's gone for ages, and I've been really defensive and just been like, no, I'm not going to destroy anything, and then after a while of them just bombarding my armies and stuff and costing me loads of money, they're like, okay, let's have a peace. We'll broker a peace, and they ask for 3 of my cities, all of my resources. I'm like, no! So I just blow up 4 of their cities, and then they're like, okay, just take everything, just leave us alone. And then I'm like, thank you. And I take 2 of their cities, half their gold, all of their resources and luxury resources. My country just goes into a huge period of economic boon and happiness, and I'm just like, well, that went rather well. 1,000-year war just results in that, and I'm just like, yep, I'm done.
Let me don my top hat and my monocle.
And just saunter off across the country.
But
Swirling wine in wine glass.
Nice. But to end my quick story here, then everything was, everyone was mad at me, but I didn't care. I got rid of Australia. but then
Kim Leo Jensen fully endorses fuck Australia.
Yeah, exactly. But then as I'm, gathering back my resources, for some reason, I don't know the Civ games too well, apparently, because my capital gets taken over by Africa, which isn't even on the same continent as me. So it's like, what the fuck happened? So that annoyed me, and I haven't played since.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that Civ does, though, is just, like, completely screws you over, and you're just like, nope, flip table, done, not gonna come back for it for a month. But even, it's like, Civ games are one of the few games that I'm, like, always 100% I haven't wasted my money, no matter how much I've spent, because I know I'll come back to it and spend, like, 2 days playing it, and that's worth the money for me, you know? So
no, the entertainment value is definitely, you know, up there. It needs all the attention it gets. The Civ Beyond Earth has gotten a lot of flack for, you know, basically being Civ 5 with space.
Yeah, because a lot of the resources look reused as well.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
And my cousin told me about how some of them also refer to themselves as countries, and yeah, you can sort of see how that leaves something. It sort of points to them not having done the entire work.
Yeah, because to some extent, though, it confuses me as to why it took so long to come out, considering how much of the Civ 5 engine was used, and like how much of Civ 5 was just reused, which is unfortunate. One of the things like Beyond Earth would have, like, they really should have aimed for is like the planetary annihilation thing of having multiple maps, like multiple planets. I don't know how you do that in a Civ game, but that would be cool to me. Lots of like different smaller maps, but lots of them, and each one obviously has different properties. Some of them, like, you know, because there's like miasma in the game, like have way more miasma on certain ones, so they're really hard to populate, but they're really worth it because of resources. Others basically Earth, so it's really easy to populate, and it's where you start, but there's not actually that much use on it. And and you have to get special units to get to different maps and that kind of thing. That would have been more interesting to me. Or a really... I think Civ Beyond Earth lacks that little bit of innovation, and I think that would have pushed it over the edge.
Yeah.
Personally, I haven't played it, so...
I think it's important to remember the history of Fire Axis. Like, Civilization 5 also got a lot of flack for,
not being complete.
Yeah, and being broken in many ways. And yeah, look at it now. It has all kind. It even not that long ago got added like touch support. So I think they definitely they'll continue to improve and they'll try and make their player base happy.
Yeah, they're a company that like always starts off crap but then comes out at the end.
It's just underwhelming, I guess, for some people. So if it's your first Civilization experience, definitely go get it. You'll enjoy yourself and have a lot of fun.
I'm hoping it goes on sale this Christmas. Then it will be mine.
Yeah, it's.
I want something
nice
to sink hours into. Anything else you've been playing? This is the longest what have we been playing we've ever done. We're probably only going to have time for one topic today.
It's all good. We're having fun, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not complaining.
Okay, well, I have a quick game. It's I've been playing a lot of Evolve Alpha, Big Alpha, I think they call it.
Oh yeah, Evolve. Yeah, I was thinking for some reason I confused Evolve with Natural Selection.
Oh, well, I can see that.
I don't know why, just in my mind. Anyway, carry on.
It has sort of the same theme, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played Natural Selection, so. But yeah, it's really awesome. It's like insane. I'll say playing the monster is the most intense and stressful thing you can do.
Yeah, it's a lot more stealth-based than people sort of like thought it was going to be, because you've got to spend a lot of time early game, or throughout the entire game, really hiding until you're strong enough to be like, Brarg!
Yeah, I mean, technically,
Scientific term, that.
If you take the right abilities, you can, just at stage 1. There are 3 stages.
Yeah.
Stage 1 is the one you start at. You can just go kick their asses if you want. But yeah, I definitely prefer to get at least in stage 2 before I try and take out the people.
One thing that annoys me about, sorry to interrupt again,
yeah,
because I do it a lot. The fact that they named the tentacle monster the Kraken, they didn't even try to give it a pseudo Lovecraftian name, because it's Cthulhu. Come on, It's not a Kraken, it's Cthulhu. So at least try. Give it a weird name of a mix between Shoggoth and Cthulhu, and then frickin' Innsmouth, which is a town. But, you know, like, Cthulgoth. Just something. Just try. Just try.
Kensmouth.
Shogthulumuth.
Yeah,
Shogthulumuth. Shogthulumuth. That's the name of this episode. Shogthulumuth. Right, I need to write that down. Shogthulumuth. I'm going to write it on my little sticky note app. Shogthulumuth. There you go. Anyway, the editor will do it anyway. Editor, Chris, just name this episode Shogthulumuth.
Thank you.
People are just going to look at this episode like, what? Shog what? Anyway,
We
carry
go
on.
so hyped for romance, and then it's Shogthulumuth.
Shogthulumuth.
Yeah, but it's it's definitely hard. What I found really interesting is seeing how, you know, because it's the thing. You can't invite a friend and play as a group yet. You have to just join random groups of people.
I've seen some people play together.
Oh, didn't work for me and my friends.
The Derp Crew on YouTube, Krios Gamer, Smarty, Garm, and Z, they all play together.
Oh, wait, yeah, there are 4 people.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be the reason. I don't know, because I just tried it with me and a friend, or a friend. Yeah, and it didn't work.
You got really shady about that.
No, I was just I was just thinking about some stupid thing about words. Anyway, not that important. Chris, please cut it out.
Don't leave it in, Chris. Leave it in.
I can talk to Chris. I don't know who he is, but
Chris Takahashi, our wonderful sponsor and editor. He does all of the work. I do nothing. Except for the research and record it, and that's it.
We love you.
We love you, Chris. Happy Halloween, even though Halloween was 2 days ago for me.
You're a little late, buddy.
Shh. No tears, only dreams.
Okay.
Evolve as well seems like one of those games like Civ in the sense that a lot of like sort of cool stories will come from it. Because you're hunting this creature, you're all low health, the last engagement the creature went awful, but you've got the creature on the run, you need to be really careful, but the creature could be anywhere, that kind of story. And then, the creature shows up and you beat it, that'd be a great story.
Yeah.
Just sort of cool gaming moments. And I like games that provide that, because a lot of games are cool, but not, memorable? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can see what you mean. It's like, it is going to have a very unique story, like the story I told you about Australia. I'm going to remember that for years, probably.
Yeah. But games like that also tend to result in some of the dumbest stories. Like me and Kim, we used to play Left 4 Dead like all the time before Left 4 Dead 2 came out, and eventually we just never actually finished a level because we'd always just resort to shooting each other. We never. It was like months of just not playing. We just started the game with random people, shot everyone, and then fought each other.
Yeah, we would always go for the shotgun so we could kill each other fast.
I want footage of this with the two of you and like the Star Trek battle music in the background.
How many times this week have you mentioned the Star Trek battle music?
Have
you been watching Cable Guy? Have you been watching Cable Guy or something?
No.
It's like that scene in Star Trek where Kirk and Spock are forced to fight each other.
I get it.
Best friends forced to fight.
I get it. Scene hammers.
Sorry, I'm done. Chris, leave that in. In fact, dubstep it. Chris, make a dubstep remix of what I just did.
With the original, like, music in the background.
Yeah. Or a fan, do it. I want a dubstep remix.
Strobe lights and, like, glow sticks.
So, Kim, Jesus Christ. Get a little hyper, guys.
Talking to Chris.
Yeah, screw you guys. I'm going to do the podcast with Chris now. So, Chris, what have you been playing? I want Chris now to, like, edit in just, like, what he's been playing, just to, like, scroll up on the screen.
There's just going to be awkward silence in the background.
Yeah.
It's like the podcast just, like, pauses as, like, we watch, like, credits roll up.
Yeah. So, Kim, is there anything else you've been playing? before I reel off the list?
Not really, but I want to make one quick thing about Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing I noticed was when the medic and the support was played by a bot, it actually became much more challenging for me playing as a monster, because the bots knows exactly how to cooperate. Random players don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a lot more success against just random players than.
I think that's the newbie experience though as well, in the
Yeah.
sense that because you're playing against people that are new to the game. You're going to get a lot of moments where you think, oh, this game's really easy to play as the monster, and then 2 weeks later, people know what to do, and you're just like, crap, the monster needs a total buff because he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. Oh, another thing is, each match is, at most, the longest match I had, and it felt like forever because I was playing the monster, and it was intense like crazy. It took like 10 minutes.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they don't take long. It almost
surprising.
feels like an esport game, or I keep thinking about League of Legends, although I haven't played that much. But if a game reaches an hour in that, it's like crazy.
I could see Evolve maybe more competition than esport, because obviously it's purposefully asymmetrical, so it'd be awkward. But I don't know. I could see you running some contests with Evolve.
Yeah, no, it probably wouldn't do well as a esport, but yeah, definitely competition. Oh, the only thing I wonder about is they seem to have put so much work in the game mechanics and making these characters being unique in their special ways. I wonder if it's going to be a full price game that feels a lot like it should almost be a free to play, almost, based on content.
Yeah, they were, I think, a while ago hinting, but sort of scrapped the idea of having a free to play model where you got like, oh no, I think it is a thing that it is going to happen, where you get the basic monster, and then the 3 basic hunters or something like that, and then you can pay for more, or you can just buy the whole game, kind of like a never-ending demo. And then you can either buy the whole game and get everything. Kind of like Smite, how Smite does it. Where on Smite you can have the rotation of characters and just play those, or you can pay like 30 quid and get all of the gods forever.
Okay.
Like a one-time payment. Which I did, and I don't even play Smite anymore.
Well, I guess you've played it enough to get your money's worth.
Yeah, I like Smite. I just don't have time to play it these days.
Yeah, too many games lately. No, but that's about it. I also played a little Destiny, but nothing worth mentioning. I just got my ass kicked in multiplayer. That's about it.
So for the list of me, Shadows of Mordor, Lords of the Fallen, some Shovel Knight, some XCOM, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Risk of Rain, because the new patch came out and the two new... Oh, I unlocked the other character, Lindsay. It's a
sweet.
robot chef that throws cleavers. It's awesome.
That is amazing.
Obviously, Battle Block Theatre, like I said. So a whole list of others. The only ones I'll like mention like in any sort of significant degree, because I realise we're at like 42 minutes now. Chris will edit it down because he does that. He's magical. Shadows of Mordor was really fun, but I finished it in 2 days, and now I have no reason to go back to it because the Nemesis system isn't as advanced as it seems. Because there's a limit. Like, because obviously people are like, oh, you can kill this guy a bunch of times and he comes back scarred. There's sort of a limit, because once you've scarred him a certain amount of times, he just, like, has a bandage around his head. And then he can't get any more scarred. Because usually after you kill him when he's got the bandage around his head, he nearly gets instantly replaced by a different captain. And it's really fun, and the game's amazing. It's more Assassin's Creed than Assassin's Creed will ever be. It's an amazing game, and I really love it. And I kind of wish this story had existed before the movies, because it would have made the movies like a bajillion times better. Not that the movies aren't good, internet, the movies are great, they're fine, the books are awesome, blah blah blah. But Shadows of Mordor makes the story even better. The story is really cool. Other than the fact that Gollum's in it. F Gollum. Freaking hate Gollum. It's really good. The combat's, like, amazing, but what I would have done with the Nemesis system is you can only have, like, 3 Nemeses, or Nemesi. And and they cannot get replaced because when they get like beaten, they can like resurrect and come back, and if you kill them, like chop off the head, they die permanently. But when you've knocked them unconscious, they might get replaced, and I don't like that because that means your nemesis apparently just disappears and permanently disappears, never comes back. So there needs to be a way to keep nemesis. Maybe you choose who your nemesis is, or it's just random and you only have like 3 and they can just never get replaced, and they make them part of the experience. Like, make the game harder in the sense that once you've gotten your nemesis, they just like will hound you, they will hunt you. So like mid-mission they'll just show up and you'll just be like, crap, now I've got to deal with these guys. That would be more interesting to me. The Nemesis system's cool, but it's not as cool as you think it is, people who haven't played it. Amazing game, worth the money, but the Nemesis system isn't as big a selling point as people think it is. The story and the combat are, though.
A quick question. So are you playing... I guess you're playing it on the PC?
Yeah.
Okay. The PC, no, not the Xbox or the
Dragon Age,
the GameCubes.
Yeah, the GameCubes. Yeah. No, but I don't know. It's like I was at first really hyped for it. I really liked the Nemesis system, but after there was it was actually after I saw the whole thing about how it was difficult for certain reviewers to get a hold of it if they didn't, promise to never say anything. Yeah, that just rubbed me the wrong way, so I didn't get it at all. We've actually got a friend that also had the same thing. He pirated it because he refused to pay them money because of that thing. And the thing that really annoys me about it is it's a great game. You didn't need to make that embargo. You just didn't. It's such a good game. You did not need that. So they must have had like no confidence in their amazing game. Well, the publisher was Time Warner, wasn't it? Or
Time Warner have been sort of notoriously kind of iffy with a lot of YouTubers and journalists.
Yeah, they're part of that old movie thing, mentality.
Don't say anything bad about our video game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the movie industry has always been very behind. Like, it's only just getting that maybe digital distribution, in a competent way is a good thing.
Yeah. But Shadows of Mordor, like, I'm pretty certain that will be a couple people's game of the year.
Yeah.
Not mine, but, it'll be up there. Look at my top 10, because it is really good. The only problem is, I did the same thing I did with it that I did with Saints Row 4, in the sense that I completed it. Like, on my first run, I got nearly 100%. Like, with Shadows of Mordor, I got, like, I think it was 89% complete, and then with Saints Row 4, I got, like, 99.1% complete. And so on my first run, and then I was like, right, well, I've got no else to do now. And just stopped playing.
Yeah, so. That's sort of interesting that happened. I don't know if that's just the game being a bit too short. No,
it is really long. It is a good length, and there is a lot to do. Lindsey can attest this because she watched me waste a weekend just doing nothing but. She was messaging me like, "What are you doing, Mordor?"
And then I'd be like, "Can I watch?" So like we both wasted our weekend.
Yeah, Mordor.
I just watched, but.
And we'd keep both going, in Mordor!
Yeah.
Nice.
And then the day with the Graug, that was the best.
Yes.
I finally got the ability to ride a Graug, so I just ran around the map riding a Graug, running into big orcish settlements and just being like, F you guys, stomp, stomp, pick you up, eat you. Oh, a captain? Oh, you scared of Graugs? Oh, sucks to be you! Nom, nom, nom. It was a good hour. It was a good hour.
It was a good hour.
Other than that, the only other, like...
riding around on a Graug.
I know I'm late to the bandwagon with XCOM Enemy Within. God, is that a good game! Oh, it's so good!
I need to play. That's one of the games that's like, I want to play that one.
It's a good game.
Yeah, I got XCOM on Enemy Unknown on
Get the expansion.
PlayStation. Yeah, I just went crazy with it. That's the thing about these turn-based games; they hook you in and never let go. So I have the same problem. I really want to play Enemy Within, but I fear I will destroy my life.
You will. I had so much fun with it because I obviously like named people and like made my own little crew. You're actually in it, Kim. You're my badass sniper. You became my secret agent.
So am I Dovahkim in there as well? Or?
No, you're Kim Leo. Everyone's named like their proper names and stuff. Oh, no, I think your nickname in it is Dovahkim though.
Nice.
I made my dad a robot. Like I put my dad in it, and like I imagined him as this. Like again, video game story moments where you have your own personal stories. I like had me in it obviously, and then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like in this world my dad was like a retired military man and he came out of retirement to join the XCOM initiative, and then he's like, I'm getting too old for this shit, and he gets shot on a mission, and we're like, we can rebuild him, and then we give him a cyborg body, and then he's a giant robot cyborg with a gun on his arm, and then it happened, and it was beautiful, and I just like had him run up to aliens and just been like, oh, one shot punch, poof, and knock him halfway across the map. Best moment in XCOM still to this day, I think Lindsey you were there to see it, I don't know, was I punched an enemy, and like I hit them so hard that they flew 2 squares into a car and blew the car up.
Yeah, I was the one that told you should go punch that guy.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, because I always thought it was hilarious when you'd have your dad go up and just use the move that was used to break down walls.
Yeah, the move is for like
punch.
breaking cover. The move is for breaking into buildings so that you can get your squad in quicker. No, I use it to punch people to death. Because it does 20 damage!
But this, I sort of wonder if your dad ever heard this story.
Oh, I told him it. Yeah, I sent him pictures. I was like, Dad, you're a robot.
Nice.
My dad loved it. I was telling him all about it, and he just had this big grin on his face, like, "Hey, I'm a robot." I'm just like, "Yeah, Dad, you're a robot. I love you." It was awesome. It was great. Totally awesome. So yeah, video game moments. They were just cool, you know. So
yeah, there seems to be a tie with turn-based games and video moments as well.
Yeah. I think it is a lot of like sort of strategy and co-op games that have those video game moments, like PlanetSide as well. Obviously, everyone's got like a PlanetSide moment. I remember we had one where we went to the other side of the map and tried to take over a base, not realizing that you have to have the adjacent tile to take over the base. So we killed like the 3 people that were there, and then just stood there, and we were like, why isn't this base being taken? And then we were just like, I guess we can't take it. So we flew off, and we're just like, right, okay, I guess we're done with that.
Yeah, that felt a little awkward.
Yeah, we just felt really dumb.
Yeah. Just quickly, Enemy Within, you know, I was wondering if the story in a lot of, you know, humans are becoming the monsters or the big...
yeah, it adds sort of like an extra... a sort of extra faction. Do you remember what they were called, Lindsay? I've forgotten.
It started with an E.
Oh, yeah! Anyway, whatever. It adds like an extra faction that is kind of like the XCOM initiative.
Is it Exalt?
Exalt! That's it! Yeah, they like sort of use genetic modification from the aliens to make them more powerful, and they're attacking you. It's not really clear what they're doing. But they're this extra faction, and it's really cool, and it does change the story quite significantly from what it seems. I still haven't finished it. I need to get back to it, but I've started playing Shadows of Mordor. So.
Yeah.
But it's a great game. So yeah, I highly recommend getting the expansion.
Yeah.
Just because of the robots.
The mech.
Yeah, that
the mech
we
is
can
so
name
cool.
after our dads.
Yes, yeah. I need Kim. I need you to get Enemy Within now, and then make a robot. Name it after your dad. Send the picture to me, and then send it to your dad.
I think he'll be very confused by that.
No, he'd love it. Just be like, Dad, you're a robot.
Yeah, I think my dad's only experience with gaming was Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
My dad was a proper gamer when he was a kid. He loves the original Mario Kart, but he hates all the modern ones. With a passion, he really hates them.
Well, that's nice.
Like, Dad, why? New Mario Karts are so cool. They're pretty. And Rosalina's in them, and Daisy's in them. I love Daisy. Ah. Jesus Christ, we're an hour already. Let's move on to a topic. We're going to do one topic this show. Holy crap. Right, okay, well, the topic for today is based on the news story that Dennis Dyack, the former guy from Silicon Knights, the developers of Eternal Darkness, which a lot of people know as a cult classic, kind of Lovecraftian game, and now he's developing Shadow of the Eternals, but he's recently formed a new gaming company called Quantum Entanglement Entertainment Inc., or QE2. Quantum Entanglement Entertainment Inc. sounds extremely pretentious if you ask me, but I've already read this news story and I have a very low opinion of this man, so whatever. What he said is that the company isn't just going to make video games, it's going to make TV programs and movies, and they're all going to be obviously sort of kind of connected, and the video games are going to be heavily story driven and that kind of thing, which sounds cool. But my question I pose to you guys as the topic, and then obviously we'll discuss some of the things that this guy's actually said. The question is just, should a company make all three media? Simply because, in my mind, there's only two options. Either, one, you only make one of those things like a year, or basically you make them very infrequently. You make like a game, then you make a movie, then you make a TV show, rinse and repeat, or whichever order you want, because you don't have the money or the people. Or, option number two, you have a huge, huge staff. One making a game, one making a movie, one making a TV program. Maybe they're all interconnected, who knows. At which point, you might as well just have three companies instead of one. You just have this one big company that really, because what would happen is you'd have one big company and then three subsidiaries. You'd have the gaming side that'd have its own name, then the movie side which would have its own name, then the TV side which would have its own name, and thus become three different companies.
Which may or may not have rapport with one another.
Exactly, yeah. What contact they have with each other is also very unknown.
Right. I personally, you can't guarantee what's going to be popular in all three mediums, because what's popular as a TV show would never make it as a movie, and what's popular as a movie will never make it as a TV show.
Well, let's not say never. There
not never,
obviously,
but like,
because like a prime example would be stuff like Walking Dead, comic turned TV program. Lord of the Rings, book turned movie. It doesn't always work, but it does sometimes.
Yeah, you're right, and I shouldn't say never, but there are three different mediums.
I feel like a mean grandma now.
Oh, jeez.
Use proper words, Lindsay, or you won't get your pudding.
No, not my pudding.
I became a Jewish grandma then. Your brother's a doctor. Your brother uses proper sentences.
He gets his pudding.
Why don't you come and visit anymore?
We never talk.
You went off and formed your own video game, movie, TV program company, and you know how that's gonna turn out. Your brother just formed a gaming company and he's successful, but you've got big dreams. Oh, too big. I'm gonna stop.
I feel bad for Americans.
I feel bad for all the people I insulted. I love you, fan base. I mean, I love you so much that you should totally buy me Civilization Beyond Earth. Who said that? Anyway, carry on, Lindsay.
But anyway, you're completely right. They'd either have to focus on one thing at a time, or they're going to have a big, huge staff with lots of different people who've had a lot of experience in that sort of genre. Because somebody who's really, really good at video games and developing that kind of stuff may not be as confident coming up with a TV show.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's very ambitious, and the one instance that I'm, like, coming up with in my head is Defiance. Do you guys remember that game?
Yeah, the one that has the running TV show next to
The
it.
funny thing is, actually, I have a story about Defiance. I knew about it, obviously, and I was like, oh, cool, it's getting a TV program as well. I hope it does well. And it has got a season 2, so it's doing alright. There is a fan base for it. But I came home one day and then went into the sort of like storage room we have just to get a DVD. And then I saw in wrapping, just on the shelf, just the first season of Defiance. And I was like, why has Dad bought this? Why? You know nothing about it. You have just bought this on a whim. So I really feel like I should go get it and watch it. But you know what? The best part of that story, he's bought season 2.
Oh.
Nice.
He has season 1 is still in its wrapping. Why?
So, I don't know. I remember getting really, really hyped for it. It was one of also the other games that I pre-ordered. And I was like, oh, this is going to be so cool.
You pre-ordered
It's
Defiance?
gonna have
Oh, yeah, you told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, well, I also pre-ordered Destiny and I still haven't picked it up.
Wait, so it's just in the shop?
Yeah, it's just in the shop.
You've spent money and just not...
No, I
got
haven't
the
spent
product?
money on it. I've
okay.
spent like $5 on it, and they're like, "Hey,
Oh.
you should come pick up your game," and I'm like,
a reserve
"Eh."
copy.
Yeah.
A reserve copy, yeah.
So, but I remember being so hyped. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so cool! It's gonna have a running TV show, and I can play the game at the same time, and it's gonna have DLC that comes out based off of what happens in the movie. I can totally get into this," and I never did.
The next
And
Max
I
Payne
watched...
game's gonna have that as well.
Yeah, I don't. It didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, I guess.
Have you watched Defiance, Sam? Have you watched the show?
I watched a couple episodes and I was like, yeah, no.
I know they were
can't.
going for a sort of a pseudo Serenity Firefly vibe. Sorry, I should have said Firefly first, internet. I'm sorry. I watched the film first. I'm sorry. I haven't even watched Firefly. I love the main guy. I've forgotten his name.
Is it Sam? Or Dean?
No.
Or, I don't know.
No, I mean the actor. What's he called?
Oh, I don't know.
But he-
Shia LaBeouf or something.
No,
I offended everyone.
the main guy from Firefly, to get a little just to show my feminine side. The dude is handsome. Like, what happened? Just like the dude just never changes. He's just like, hello, I'm Mr. Handsome, and you just look at him and you're a guy and you're just like, fuck, I can't fucking help having a boner right now. Why is this happening? And I'm just jealous. That dude's like super good looking. Anyway,
So,
enough
anyway.
of my secret homosexual tendencies. Moving on.
I don't know. That's just what I think of when I think of companies wanting to dip into. It's like you only have so many hands, and you want to like touch everything. That's so great and so cool. Like, but you may be putting your finger in too many pies.
Yeah.
And just make everything bad.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Well,
Kim,
this awkward
10
silence, I'm like-
seconds of silence, then, whoa. Kim's
did-
stoned right now, just like...
Oh, did you say something? I must.
Yeah,
know
I was saying, what are your preliminary thoughts before we get a little deeper into it?
Oh, well, the first thing I thought about actually was Elder Scrolls Online. Because that's actually made
The
by
game
another...
sucks balls.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. But that's the thing. The game is actually made by another company.
Yeah,
you know,
it is. Yeah, that was
it's-
surprising.
Yeah, ZeniMax is usually the publisher, but in this case, you know, ZeniMax is the developer and Bethesda is the publisher.
Can I just go on like a mini rant about why I really hate Elder Scrolls Online?
Sure.
Commands
Just really quickly. Commands angry video game British rant. Right, okay. No, the main reason I hate Elder Scrolls Online is because Skyrim, when it was released, and all of these articles have been deleted, but I know it happened and I have witnesses. Bethesda said, we plan to make all of Tamriel available through DLC, so all the way up to a war with the Thalmor.
I remember that.
They were planning like 7 DLCs. Where did they go? Elder Scrolls Online. They stopped everything to sink money into Elder Scrolls Online, and I just thought, you dumbasses. Because Bethesda is just like, oh, we can beat World of Warcraft. Pfft, we're Elder Scrolls, we'll beat them, obviously. Yeah, to beat World of Warcraft, you've got to make a good fucking game, you dumbasses.
Well, I think they were listening to their fans, because their fans were like, we want Skyrim, but to play with our friends, and...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have been saying, oh, if only Skyrim had multiplayer, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer, not MMO. You could have spent like 1/5, 1/10, 1/millionth of the money you wasted on Elder Scrolls Online on just giving Skyrim multiplayer. If you'd just given it up to 4-person co-op, because you don't need any more than that, just 4-person co-op, your fans would have been elated. They would have loved it. But no, you had to make Elder Scrolls Online. Well, guess what that's done for you? Made a huge loss because no one fucking plays it, you tits. Done with the rant. Kim, carry on.
Yeah, just a quick thing. It's actually a good thing that it didn't succeed because.
I thought you were going to say it was actually good. Then I was gonna go to your country and beat the shit out of you.
No, I played it for so little. I was like, I can't be bothered with this nonsense.
I got again, just like a little tidbit. I was doing it on my channel, and then I had still 2 hours of footage left, and I had fun playing it with my friend. But you always have fun playing an MMO with a friend. But I just got so far into it that I was like, this game's shit. I don't want it on my channel. So I just deleted 2 hours of footage and was like, I'm done.
That was the one that I drew the thumbnail for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What a waste of a thumbnail.
No, I know.
I'm kidding.
My poor thumbnail. It wasn't that great anyway.
But the reason why Blizzard hasn't made any games in such a long time was exactly because World of Warcraft was such a success. They had to keep maintaining it and patching it and make new content for it. And that took away from the development on other actual games. Somewhat the same happened with Valve. Like the reason there is no Half-Life 3 is
because they're too busy not fixing Steam.
Yeah,
oh no, actually, I tell a lie. They have actually done some really good improvements.
Yeah, no, I remember back in the old browser that didn't work for shit.
It was just awful.
Yeah, it was horrible. It's gotten a lot better, but it's I don't know.
There's still some tweaks that need to be made.
Yeah, especially to the storefront. Now they're trying this personalized thing, which
I actually do like some of the personalized stuff. I like the have you looked at your queue?
I went through.
I find that really fun.
Yeah, I would want it to be a very small part, based on the games you've played this week. We recommend this list or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be more interesting. It does just kind of think, right, these are some games that are on Steam, so look through them and tell them what you're interested in. But what I've noticed is the more I've done it, the more games that are recommended to me at the top are more accurate.
Oh.
So the more you do your queue, that sounds weird, the better the recommendations actually get, which is really cool. It's actually recommending games that I would play if I didn't already have a better version of that game.
I don't know. I sort of liked being surprised once in a while, thinking like, oh, this game looks kind of interesting on the screenshots, but I have no idea what it's about or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't bothered that much with the store lately.
Anyway, Kim, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Yeah, sorry. Well, I think definitely it needs to be separate people because someone with a vision on how games are done well, really well, how you tell the story most efficiently through a game media. He'll have a completely different idea about how to do that than someone making movies, or the same with the MMOs. Like, there's just some people that can't get into MMOs. I'm one of these. I can't be bothered with...
Have you ever tried to play an MMO with a friend, though?
I haven't. Not really. I mean, I guess...
I would say try it, but then you'd get into MMOs and then proceed to never play any other video game ever.
Well, it really depends. It's like I have some cousins that I play a lot of games with.
Yeah, your cousins play WoW, don't they?
Yeah,
We
exactly.
should play Neverwinter with Kim.
Oh yeah!
I have actually played that a little.
Neverwinter is actually... I've actually really enjoyed Neverwinter, just as a sort of... Like, every now and then, me and Lindsey will just be like, do you want to play Neverwinter? And we'll play it for, like, an hour, 2 hours. I don't think we've ever played it for more than, like, 2 hours.
Because my internet always decides to go, nope!
Yeah.
Well,
And it's a fun game. I like the combat, and again, it's fun to play with friends.
yeah.
We actually did our first dungeon the other day, and it was fun.
Yeah!
And some guy kept dropping out the dick.
Hey, it's not his fault.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Mean.
That's the problem I have with like World of Warcraft is, some people I know will play for 3 hours or something because they're raiding, and it sounds so incredibly frustrating because everyone has to do their role. There's always someone who has no idea what he's doing, and if I would join, it would probably be me. But,
It was me when I did raiding in WoW. I was like, how do DPS?
It's
Or
okay.
DPs?
We wouldn't get mad at you, Kim. We would take you under our Neverwinter wings, and we would
No,
show
I'd get mad.
No, but I
No,
wouldn't.
Lindsey, you've played with me. I get mad.
yeah,
I'm a horrible person to play competitive games with.
Yeah.
I get mad at people.
There's been many times during Battle Block Theater where I'm like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Because I'm just like...
Yeah, the disapproving sigh every time I can't make a jump puzzle. And I'm like, ah!
I need to wear a muzzle, basically. An anti-psi muzzle. Anyway, right, moving back onto the topic. One of the things I wanted to mention, actually, was the game that the company's making is Shadow of the Eternals, which is a spiritual sequel, or spiritual successor, as it's called, to Eternal Darkness. The problem that, like, this is where sort of a wrench is being thrown into the mix of QE2, just in general. Shadow of the Eternals went on, like, crowdfunding, like, twice. Didn't get funded either time. Didn't even come close to getting funded either time. So, and, that's their, like, poster title? And it's a game apparently no one wants. So, that doesn't bode well. If this is going to also have a TV show or a movie, that does not bode well. And then they're also being like, just to go over it as well, because Lindsey mentioned they need people that have experience. That's one thing they do have. They do have a fair few people that have experience in the industry. Chief Executive Officer Jonathan Soon Shong has extensive film and television background in Canada. He Deputy Executive Director Strategy and Finance, Jesus Christ, that's a big title, at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They have Paul Rapovsky, who's a television producer, and then Rapovsky was Assistant Fight Coordinator for Pacific Rim. Like, I don't know how much experience they have. They're not people like I know. It's like if they said, we have Christopher Nolan, then you'd be like, holy shit, throw all your money at QE2. I would play a Christopher Nolan game. I would play the shit out of a Christopher Nolan game. I want to see Chris Nolan.
Are you listening?
I want to play a version of Beyond Two Souls where Chris Nolan directed it. That'd be cool. Because like David Cage, I love you. You're a golden god, but you are shit.
Well, that's...
You are very good at making movies. You are very good at making movies that occasionally have QuickTime events. You made Fahrenheit your best game ever, and then never made a good game ever again. You made some great movies, though. You made some great movies.
I like Heavy Rain.
Fahrenheit was awesome.
Fahrenheit
I've never
is awesome.
played either.
I thought you played Fahrenheit, Kim.
No, I didn't. I don't think I've said so.
Fahrenheit/Indigo Prophecy, available on GOG.com right now for like £9. Go get it. I do highly recommend it. It is a balls to the wall weird game. A lot of people hate it because it gets really crazy halfway through. No, that's why it's good. That's why you'd fly and you're just like, okay, this happened, now I'm in the Matrix, whatever. Anyway, so the things I mentioned, let's talk about them instead of going on a massive tirade about why Fahrenheit is cool. Go buy it.
Well, do you want to take this, Lindsey? Ladies first.
More
Oh,
of
the misogyny! What? Sorry.
It's okay.
Misogyny's okay. Officially endorsed by Lindsey.
No, misogyny's
Anti-feminist.
not okay.
Nope, you said it
was
already.
before.
Too late. Carry on. I'm an asshole, I know. Carry on.
That was Lindsay's disapproving sign.
Yeah. Fine. Keep it up.
I learned from the best. So the fact that they have people there, is that what we're talking about? Well, that's good.
Well, there was 2 points, really. The fact that the game they're making, apparently, according to crowdfunding, no one wants.
Well,
And the fact that, yes, they do have some people with experience, but not anyone I, particularly well know. Like, assistant fight coordinator for Pacific Rim. Is that a big deal? I don't really know. And then deputy executive director, strategy and finance at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. What the hell is a deputy executive director? That sounds like the PA for the second director.
Basically, someone giving
Right.
money to the project.
Yeah, it sounds like the guy that got coffee for the director's assistant. That's what it sounds like to me. And then and that's where the strategy and finance is. He had to plan his own route to Starbucks.
right. But again, with the titles and things like that, it sounds like people are wanting to try and
Sound
come
like
up
they're important.
with their magnum opus.
Yeah.
They've been a part of it. They're part of the industry, and they want to do these sorts of things. But I don't know if they really have enough clout behind them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably sound like a really big jerk right now.
No,
But-
I've been dissing them like crazy. I'm sorry, Jonathan Soon Shong, Deputy Executive Director, Strategy and Finance at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
But that's just kind of what it sounds like to me right now. Is that they have been a part of big things, but they weren't necessarily the ones that came up with the big thing themselves.
Yeah, they were the dude that was there, so they're taking credit for it.
They're like, oh yeah, I was the assistant to the fighter. Yeah, I helped come up with a punch.
I was 458th in the credits.
Yeah.
Better than 459th. Haha.
It's kind of like padding your resume and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
With
And it kind of feels like QE2 is padding their resume with these names.
right,
Yeah.
right. But again, with the Kickstarter thing going
know if it
on
was Kickstarter.
twice, or whatever, the crowdfunding thing, with them going on twice and not any nibbles really, that to me is a big red flag.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, maybe if
Yeah, it was
I was a part of the company, I'd be like, right, okay, what do we have to do to make sure that everybody really wants this? Yeah, we want it, but that means nothing when you are trying to do something that entertains people. They have to want it too.
Yeah, I remember watching the, it was Kickstarter, by the way, the Kickstarter video for Shadow of the Eternals, and I thought this looked kind of interesting but weird. I didn't fund it, but, I thought,
Right.
it's kind of cool, I guess. And there's a trailer for people to watch if you just search Shadow of the Eternals. It's very Eternal Darkness, basically. It's sort of got that pseudo ripping off Assassin's Creed, all the Templars were an influence throughout time story. I say Assassin's Creed, what is it? The Dan Brown novel that everyone loves.
Angels and Demons, or
Yeah, those ones. They did it as well, and I'm sure lots of other conspiracy theorists, tinfoil wearing hat books also did it. Wow, I just insulted a lot of people.
who cares about that?
Yeah, who cares about people that read Dan Brown? They don't have souls.
I read.
Oh, sorry,
my
Kim. We hate so that you have no soul.
I'm fine with that.
But it's if people don't want the game, it doesn't seem like a good selling point at all, and it just seems like a huge risk. Is all. That's the thing with the QE2. They don't seem to be going through company backing. Obviously, they're just forming their own company, and if they're forming their own company, trying to go quote unquote indie, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where is that's my big question. Where is the money going to come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, and where is the money going to go? Because yes, it gets
yeah.
funded, but is all of that money going to be used for what? Appropriately, and then they're going to be like, "Hey guys, sorry, we know you funded us, but we need a little bit more cash." Could you
to some extent, what I can see happening with this is because Dyack, to give his full name, Dennis Dyack, has formed this QE2 and made sort of such a bold move. I think he's hoping to get like sort of shock jock backing from a lot of like crowdfunding places and that kind of thing. And essentially, what is probably going to happen is he's going to pull a Tim Schafer, which is promise the moon, deliver nothing.
Yeah.
Like, Tim Schafer, I love you. You seem like an awesome guy. I played Psychonauts and that's it, and it was cool. Actually, I didn't play it. I watched my brother play it. But you have delivered none of your promises. None at all. You've delivered half games, half truths, and lies. It's like QE2, it could end up going the same way of like, oh yeah, we've got these great ideas, and then the whole crowd is like, oh, you've got great ideas, have some money. Great ideas don't always pan out to great solutions.
They just don't budget well, or they get too ambitious.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they do, like, I'm not saying I want them to fail. God no. It sounds like if it could work, it would be awesome and really take the gaming industry to another level, which would be cool. But it's such a huge ambition.
Yeah, the thing I take from everything I see in this article and hear about this guy, I thought like that name sounds so pretentious, and if you imagine you're like the guy they're pitching this idea to, and they mention like, oh, my credentials are I was the fighting director in Pacific Rim. I'm like, oh, cool. Are we making a Mortal Kombat game or what's going on, and all that, but the thing, it's a bit of the opposite point you were making, Lindsey, is sometimes what's popular isn't always what people want. Or
exactly. Like prime examples in AAA industry of like Call of Duty, like newer Call of Duties. Not many people want them compared to what like the people that want innovation. Just as an example,
but they sell.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the end of The Last of Us. It actually pulled very badly with the tested audience, but kept it in because it was their little thing.
Yeah,
and
create artistic integrity, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mass Effect. Like BioWare was saying, no, we've got our ending and we're sticking to it. This is what we had. Our artistic vision. That's it.
Well, it was Mass Effect. Had a different artistic ending.
Yeah, shit one. But let's not get into that.
Well, they had a bigger one, and then they shrunk it down to a 3 select ending thing that didn't make sense. But as you said, let's not get into it.
Tangent City.
Exactly. But at one point, I feel like, this doesn't make sense, and it's not going to make, I can't see how they're going to succeed with the current talent, because there's nothing that screams like they have the best idea ever and it's going to succeed. But at the same time, sometimes you just have to go on your own,
take a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, again, it's really ambitious, and I want them to succeed, because how cool would it be if all three mediums could make it together and we're intertwined with one another, and that would be so cool. But it seems like a really big leap of faith, and we don't even know if there's another platform there or not. So they could land, and it could be really, really successful. But based off of what I've seen, even just crossing over to another TV show hasn't. So maybe there's not a platform there, and maybe they fail, and I don't want them to, but...
Yeah, I have no idea how a fighting director is going to help them across all these different games.
Let's just look at some of the things that this guy said, because just as a sort of final thing to close the topic, because I think we've all sort of reached a consensus on the company as a whole, but let's talk about Dennis Dyack as a person, or some of the things he said, because like the prime thing that I took from this article was I wanted to do something that was a lot more than just video games. And there's like, I was talking about this with my dad the other day, and he gave me sort of a pretty decent perspective of just video games can be taken the wrong way. He might not mean it as just video games, in huge air quotes, just video games. He could just mean just video games. He wants to do, TV and stuff. But, that does come across as kind of insulting, because there has been this big stigma in the video game industry of like, oh, you make video games? Like David Cage, prime example of, he's like, he desperately wants to make movies so bad. He has film reels for testicles. He wants to make movies so bad. But he says he makes video games, because he wants to make something more than just a video game, And it's, it has that kind of stigma, and I don't like it. And if that's what this guy is sort of like cohering to, it's really bad. Don't say stuff like that.
Gaming still has the stigma of not being an art form, and there's so many games that seems to disprove that.
That is another. I think I'm actually have that as a topic for the next show of like, is game art and does it fucking matter? Because I'm one of the rare people, I think, that says no, it doesn't matter, and it maybe it is. I don't care. But I know it's annoying to make a statement like that and then just be like, let's move on. But we are strapped for time, so we'll talk about it next episode. We'll bring Kim back, guys.
Yeah.
Comment down below if you want Kim back, because I'm having fun. Even though we haven't covered any news other than this one story.
You should make a 2-hour waffle podcast or something like that.
We might have to make this, extend this episode, Chris. I'm sorry if it does go to 2 hours, but that's just how it is this week.
We love you, Chris.
We love you, Chris. Chris, Kim doesn't know him. Anyway, Kim, you were
Kim
saying
doesn't know him, but he loves him anyway.
Yes.
I'm speaking for you.
Yes, thank you. You can express it much better than
You're welcome.
Was I making a point?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we can move on to another thing he said, which, like, again, this is sort of another pretty damning thing to me for the company.
I was going to say something about it.
Oh, the first thing he said?
Yeah, the first thing he said.
Go ahead.
Being in pageantry and things like that, a lot of it is focused on the way that you speak publicly, and you have to be so careful what you say, because even just the little tiniest thing can portray you in a bad light. And I think he may not have meant it as just video games.
It's
don't
the whole
know
thing
what he meant.
of journalists
I'm not
taking
Dennis.
things out of context.
Right, and that is something that we need to consider as well. But
I don't mean it in
the
the sense of like, oh, fuck journalism. I just mean it in the sense that
no.
using one quote out of an interview can alter the meaning by accident.
Skew it. Right.
Yeah.
But just video games, especially with like the stigma that is like, oh, you're a gamer, like I don't know. It seems almost insulting to just call it just video games.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm not really too keen on.
It's something we've got to consider as well. Did he mean it as just video games, or did he just literally mean I want to make more than video games? I want to make movies and TV shows as well. But anyway, moving on to the other quote.
Yeah, right.
That he said that I think's again quite damning. He said, "We're looking at it from a film and television side. We've got more going on that we're just not ready to talk about yet. If you make an announcement like this, you need more than a trailer for a game that you released like a year ago. They don't they have, we have these random people that you've never heard of from these movies you kind of liked. Except for Pacific Rim, that was amazing. They really do need more. I think they really need to be way more open. They need to give me a business plan. Say, right, first year, we plan to work on this, this, and this. Hopefully by the second year, we plan to have hopefully this and this released. And if those are successful, we expand the company appropriately. If not, we downsize and we work accordingly. They need to be way more open.
Yeah, and have you seen with DC and Marvel recently? They're like, hey, this is what we have planned for the next 5 years. These are the movies. What do you guys think? And everybody loves it. Like, well,
be open with your customers.
Be open! Just like, when I see a company that's like, oh yeah, we want to do this, but we're not going to tell you about it, I'm like, yeah. Yeah, why? Why don't you want to tell me? Like,
because they want to build suspense.
Like, I don't, and I lose interest.
Yeah, I think it's the simple thing of the... Sorry, Kim, if you were going to say something, and I'll just get this last point in before I let you talk, because I'm rude. It's the idea that Dennis... Maybe not Dennis, but, the board of executives or whatever is like, ooh, we need to build mystique and suspense around the company. No, this is not the time. This is not the time to build hype that method. You cannot afford subtlety. Shadow of the Eternals did not get funded. Keep that in mind. You need to tell your audience what your plan is. Even if you say at the beginning, this plan might change, but this is our current plan, customers will appreciate it and show interest. But if you just go, maybe we'll make something, maybe we'll not, your customers are already like, well, we didn't care about the first thing you announced, so what are you doing? Are you like hiding the second thing that we don't care about? Is that it? Are you just... What are you doing? So... QE2 needs to be open. They need to come out within, the next month and say, look, this is what we're going to do. This is our plan. If you disagree with it, tell us and we'll adapt.
We'll listen.
If you agree with it, then cool beans.
Aces.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of a crowdsourced sorted game that actually, has its information out is Star Citizen. I don't know if you've been following that lately.
There's a different problem with Star Citizen, though,
in
the sense that they don't do anything.
Well, they just recently announced they're going to add, an FPS module, as they say.
That's cool.
I guess there should be more of a beta this November. I mean, I remember when I initially, backed it, they promised beta before November 2014, and there already is like different.
And I think that is something you can, like, just as a sort of a side thing. That is something you can look at to see why being open is always more accessible than building the mystique hype. Yeah, because the Kickstarters that are successful are the ones that are like super duper open. If you go to, like, I would place money on the fact that probably 50% of successful video game Kickstarters tell you exactly where the money is going to go. Yeah. Because the more open you are, the more confidence people will have in you, because they know you have a plan, instead of just going, ooh, mysterious. Because if you're doing that, people just think you have no idea what you're talking about, and are just using that as a cop-out.
Right. And I think people need to realize that, like, their audience...
aren't stupid.
We're not stupid, like... And so don't treat us as such. Treat us like... Because obviously you want to do crowdsourcing, right? We're not just a source of income. We're not just nameless faces. Think of us as a business partner. Think of us as a professional, like, someone that you're going to, because you are using somebody else's money in order to fund what you want to do. We're your investors. Would you treat an investor like that? No. Oh yeah, we have an idea, but we aren't going to tell you. Will you still give us money? An investor's not going to give you any money if you pitch somebody.
To sort of close the topic off, and I'll let everyone else have their like final piece before we move on to a bit of news before we end the show. The best example, obviously, like Lindsey just said, if I wanted to open a shop in England, I have to go to a bank for a business loan, and I need to give them a business plan. It needs to be fully detailed, and it has to have, I think, a minimum of a 5-year plan. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it is quite a large amount. Like, you have to say what you plan to do for the next few years to keep the business successful, because the bank is investing in you. And if you have to have this plan. So why does a bank get it and not the people you're actually providing materials for, especially when it's such an open thing like this? Because obviously, if I go open a shop, it's private until the shop is opened, unless I make a big thing of it on Twitter or whatever. But with this, obviously, they are coming out on the internet, and I don't know if they're going to ask for crowdfunding. I doubt it. They just seem to be kind of doing it. But, you know, if they're coming out on the internet and this kind of thing, they are purposefully coming out on the internet to garner interest in the project or the company.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to garner interest, give us your business plan. I'm not saying you have to give us, like, exact numbers and open yourself up to, like, you know, whatever, doxing or, you know, any sort of corruption or whatever. Just tell your customers, give us at least a vague idea of what you're going to do, instead of just being like, ooh, spooky. I know there was nothing spooky about it, but I wanted to say ooh, spooky all episode.
A lot of it also depends on the guy in charge. Like, I mean, I'd say you trust someone, you know, who has a proven track record of making, you know, very provocative ideas that works really well, and then you might trust them a bit more.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, usually with kickstarted games, you just crowdfunded games.
Sorry. I want the like reverse version of Kickstart, where the company gives you money, where it's called Kickstart. Kickstart,
yeah. No, but what it needs to be, you just need to be more open if you're going to have a crowdsourced game. In most cases, unless you're, you know, someone everyone just trusts.
Yeah, and it's like. Most of the games I've funded personally
pan out well.
Yeah, the games that I've funded personally, I've learned from experience to trust the Kickstarters that are very, very open about their plans, and the companies that aren't, even if they have a really cool concept, at least wait a bit. You know, don't fund it on day 28. I mean, or 28 days left. Fund it on like 5 days left, and if they haven't given you any more updates, don't back them. You know.
Yeah, and well. A good example of a company that has been hugely successful was Oculus Rift, but even they said, you know, they hugely underestimated how much it would cost to, you know, get where they are now.
Yeah, and companies like Larian, who made Divinity Original Sin. I know we had a second episode of the show we talked about, did Divinity Original Sin really deliver on what they promised? But they were really open, and They that is one of the bits of news that we'll cover about Divinity Original Sin that I'm happy about. But they were really open about their project, really, really open. They had an awesome concept, and then they had very detailed stretch goals. I know stretch goals aren't like super important, but they do also give you another goal of like, this is like the best outcome. I'd like QE2 to be like that as well. What would be ideal? You know, I'd love them to just tell me their dreams. You know, it sounds a bit silly, but just see where they're aiming, and then them tell me what's our realistic goal. But anyway, right, closing thoughts on the topic, Lindsey.
Again, you need to have, if you want to reach for the stars, I wish the best for you, and everybody should want to reach for the stars. Everybody should want to accomplish their dream. Yeah, you need a ladder. You need to make sure that you have a great base before you start reaching for them. Before you jump into the abyss, you got to make sure that you have to take a leap of faith, things like that. But you know, if it's not warranted, then I don't care about you enough to help pick up the pieces.
Then that guy from that one Indiana Jones movie is going to show up and be like, "You chose poorly."
Yeah.
Kim, closing thoughts.
Well, yeah, they need to show more, definitely, because I keep coming back to this, but the fight director of Pacific Rim doesn't really give me any idea that this is going to be a great game.
Exactly, and like just the vague terms like Deputy Executive Director, Strategy and Finance. What is that?
The Assistant Fighter Director.
Yeah.
For Pacific Rim.
Right, sorry.
Commenters, please tell me what those two actually mean. Like, fight coordinator, I kind of get, but like, what the F is Deputy Executive Director, Strategy and Finance? It's not Director of Strategy and Finance. It's Deputy Executive Director, Strategy and Finance. The balls is that? Someone tell me. Anyway, so let's quickly go through our news topics. There's one I personally just wanted to sort of rehash, because we talked about it, I think, in the first episode, and a lot of people were really annoyed about it, is DC Comics Play Arts Kai has released 2 more DC, like, Batman villain designs. Like, we talked about the so guys, obviously pull up the links and look at the pictures. We talked about the design of the Batman one. Obviously I said I liked it, which was a very controversial opinion apparently, because I thought it was, it was cool. It was a unique new design. But they've released 2 more. They've released Harley Quinn and Joker. The Joker is, again, the Joker and Harley Quinn, they look very, very Final Fantasy, because they're designed by people that designed Final Fantasy.
I like them.
I do as well. I think they're pretty cool. Kim, thoughts?
I don't know. Doesn't look that practical. But...
yeah. Well, it's Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I guess it's more about, style and stuff.
I really like the Joker's design.
The Joker's design
Just
is
throwing
cool.
that out there.
It's very evil, like the face.
I like it.
He looks evil in his face, but his shoes makes me not taking him seriously. It's
He's a bit
what
camp.
the hell?
Well, I don't know.
Just,
One of my
my
favorite
first
anime characters is Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, the
and
super
he,
camp
guy. I like it.
Yeah, I like the designs.
Kinda
I think they're
reminds me-
cool. I'm glad that they're being done, because I like seeing varying artistic interpretations. It's as simple as that. It's cool to see more, like, varied Batman designs, because Batman obviously has become very stale. Whoa, Matthew, whoa. The design of Batman has become very commonplace. It hasn't changed much since the 90s. Since the 90s, it's become grey with black cape and short ears. For the most part, that's become the sort of bog standard design. It hasn't had any dramatic changes, and it never has really, other than the transition from grey and blue to grey and black, and then all black. Those are the significant changes. So it's cool to see these varying designs. They're not as, I wouldn't call them as extreme as the Batman one, but they're still cool. I mean, the Harley Quinn one, I really like the Harley Quinn one. I'd put that up in my room. I think it's cool. So yeah.
Has it always been her weapon of choice?
The hammer?
Big
Yeah.
hammer?
A hammer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was invented in the animated series, which is where Harley Quinn comes from. Fun fact for you guys.
I watched too little of all of those.
The animated series was good.
I did watch some of it when I was younger, but it was sort of at the end when I started losing interest in that kind of stuff. Yeah.
My dad had it all on VHS. Yes, I was around for VHS. I was around for, well, I suppose me and Lindsey, we were both around for the transition between, we were born into that era of transition. Kim, you were like only a couple years older than us when the sort of transition started. I didn't notice it as a kid. That was the thing. I didn't notice it. It just sort of happened. VHS just suddenly stopped, and we just had DVD players.
Well,
Eight-Legged Freaks, first DVD my dad ever owned. Awesome movie. Don't care what people say.
When I was growing up, I was like, "Where are the VHSs? Where'd they go?" And it's like I remember waiting for my favorite song to come on the radio and pushing the record button to have it on cassette.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys are making me.
Lives.
You are kind of making me feel a little old because
you're only like 3 years older than us.
Yeah, it's not that. Well, I don't know.
I
don't want to say my age. No, it doesn't matter. But I remember the Betamax as well. We had like the first 3 Star Wars.
Yeah, my dad bought a Betamax when he was younger. He bought a Betamax thinking it was going to be the most popular. It was better, like mechanically. It just, for some reason, VHS just won out.
Porn, but yeah.
Yeah, VHS porn was on VHS.
Supposedly that was the reason, although obviously it's not just that simple.
It seems the most logical reason. Like,
Yeah,
it would up VHS sales, and thus more companies would sell VHS blank tapes. So whatever.
yeah. I guess I just can't imagine. I guess I also grew up when internet was becoming readily available. So it's like at the time when
I did that too.
At the time that became an interest, it's like I could never dream about going into a store and saying, "I would like one porn, please."
Yeah. Oh God. I can't. In my town where I go to university, there is a like a porn cinema.
Oh yeah, I've heard about these horror stories. Yeah, I've heard about these horror stories. Like in America, they still have like these stores with small booths where you can.
Yeah, a dude got arrested in America for masturbating in a porn cinema, and I thought, it's a porn cinema. What do you expect him to do?
Well, it is kind of disgusting.
No, yeah, I understand that. It's public masturbation. It's weird, but it's a dark room where you're watching porn. Are you supposed to just sit there and go, the plot's really good? No, you're supposed to get a rock on.
Well, I'm just thinking like sitting in the cinema and the love scene comes on, and I'm like, oh, better whip it out. Well, it's like,
well, may as well.
But
I can't wait till I get home. I'll have lost this rock on before I get home.
But yeah, of course, there's no other reason to see porn. So why would you go to a cinema to watch porn if you're not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, well, again with huge tangents. Next news story.
I'm not quite sure I like this tangent.
Divinity Original Sin sells over 500,000 units. Yay!
Woo!
That's all that story is. I just wanted to put it in for yay. Just, I'm happy about that. Like, Divinity Original Sin, it's a cool game, so I'm glad it's improved. Oh, Kim, the multiplayer's been improved as well, so we should play that sometime.
Nice.
I'm going to pick it up and get it.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Oh, actually, Lindsey was already here for my first rant about this news story. James Cameron, unimpressed with Oculus Rift and VR. Where's the actual quote? There seems to be a lot of excitement around something that to me is a yawn, frankly. The question that always occurred to me is, when is it going to be mature? When is it going to be accepted by the public at large? When are people going to start authoring in VR? And what will that be? What will the level of interactivity with the user be, other than just, I can stand and look around? If you want to move through a virtual reality, it's called a video game. It's been around forever. Now, can I just fuck James Cameron? This really annoys me.
James Cameron, you're being a little rude.
I like Lindsey's approach a bit more.
The main reason it annoys me is because James Cameron is the dude that's like, oh, I used 3D as the first big movie. Oh, look at me, I'm so cool. Look how innovative I am. And then when someone else does an innovation in a different medium, he's like, I just think he's being a bitch because he didn't think of it first. I really do. I cannot believe that the dude that went apeshit over 3D big fucking deal is like a virtual reality with surround sound that has head tracking is boring. Bullshit. James Cameron, you liar.
The Rifty-Roo is amazing.
The Rift is awesome. It's such a fantastic. There's a game where it uses the head tracking so that you can play Pong.
Nice.
And your face is the paddle. That is awesome.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I haven't either, but I'm really close at ordering one. But at the same time, I'm going to wait for the consumer edition. I really want to play around with it. Yeah.
This latest dev kit is apparently very close to what the final product is going to be.
We did a news story on it last episode. They said they're close.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. But the thing about James Cameron is, I think he was really hyped for 3D because that's his medium. It's sort of his side of things where they make a movie that influence players and everything, or influence the watcher, the viewer, I should say. And and so he doesn't really get it from the other side. He doesn't want to be a viewer. He wants to be the director, and so I'm guessing he just doesn't see it the same way. Because I thought, I think the same like you, that like 3D is a total waste of money. I don't want to even touch 3D.
Well, the problem, like, I have a bitter opinion of it simply because I can't see it. I can't see 3D movies. I went to see Avatar. That was my first experience in that kind of 3D. I went to see it and I couldn't see it. It was blurry. I could see, like, what was going on, and I could obviously see, like, what people's faces looked like, but it was not 3D.
It makes people sick.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
My dad
I got off lucky. I just can't see it.
3D to me is a bit like the whole, and I'm going to get a lot of angry PC gamers for this, but it's like the whole resolution wine fest thing. When they're saying, "Oh, the game is only 900p and not full HD," and all that. And the thing is, it's really nice having 3D. It does actually look really nice when it works, but at the same time, the overall experience isn't really touched on. It's like playing one of my favorite games is definitely The Last of Us, or a couple of games, but The Last of Us. And I got it for the PlayStation 4, and it looked really nice at 60 FPS and full HD. But the game is still the same. I was most impressed with it the first time I played it on the PlayStation 3.
I think resolution is more tied to immersion rather than gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I've some of the best moments I've ever had in gaming. I say best moments, but sort of like intense moments, I should say, were when I was playing like Vanish in the dark, full screen at 1920 by 1080 in HD or whatever it was, and being like right in front of the screen. It was an immersion thing, and I think resolution does help with the experience quite strongly with certain games, especially horror. But other games, it does not factor into it, especially games like especially indie games like FTL and Dust Force and Risk of Rain. Those games, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't know, it's just, I remember some of the first games that scared me were like, they're like literally today 320 by 240 in resolution, and I loved them as a kid.
I just realised we were supposed to alternate between news things, and I've just read them all.
Oh. Well.
Anyway.
That's good.
Yeah, get me.
They were your news stories.
We've only got 2 more.
Okay.
So you were mid sentence, Kim.
Yeah, just talking about I just think overall I think as long as the game looks good, it doesn't really matter if the resolution is fine. But it doesn't even need to look good. It just needs to feel like you're
at the end of the day, as long as the gameplay is good, it doesn't matter. But visual aspects are, I would say, at the very least important, but not integral.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna throw out Shovel Knight right now because a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh,
hold on, I'm gonna stop you there." Shovel Knight's a very different kettle of fish, simply because Shovel Knight had a very purposeful style of nostalgia.
Right.
Like, Shovel Knight's difficult in the conversation simply because Shovel Knight was purposefully made to look like an NES game, in NES style. The only thing Shovel Knight has that the NES didn't is parallax scrolling.
Right.
So Shovel
I never
Knight's
had an NES though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess it does. It is a factor for people that never obviously played nostalgia factor games, but it's like when it comes to visuals, Shovel Knight's in its own vein.
It's not trying to set a mood or anything.
It's purposefully being like, we want to look like a SNES game. They even went as far to use the original color palette for the SNES, which is crazy. Beautiful. Shovel Knight's awesome. It looks great, but again, it is sort of like, I mean, if you compared Shovel Knight to say freaking Dark Souls and actually said which is more complex, Dark Souls, which is prettier, is subjective, and that's the problem with resolution. It is subjective, which you feel is visually better, which is mechanically better, is objective fact.
Right.
Like the FPS and resolution thing. 1920 is objectively better than 780 or whatever.
Yeah,
it just is, but subjectively, iffy. Sorry, I ran. I know.
Yeah, just quickly talking about indie games. I was thinking about Lone Survivor, which actually is a horror game, 2D scroller.
A lot of people voted it their scariest game of the year.
Yeah, and I played a little in the Vita, and it's really fun.
Speaking of crappy graphics games that scared the crap out of me, that hotel level in Vampire the Masquerade, holy shit! I was terrified!
Yeah.
I was playing that, I was like, no, don't want to play this anymore, nope, no, I'm done. Oh, that was so... And then there's that bit where you're just down the hallway and it goes, he sees you. And you're just like, nope, no, I'm done.
Have you completed that game?
No, I just started playing it today.
Oh, yeah. I played
Are
it...
there more scary moments? I don't want to play it.
I think the hotel is the only scariest thing.
Have you been playing it?
No, I've watched playthroughs of it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
it scared the shit out of me.
Probably wasn't that scary, but have you been at the observatory?
No, not yet.
Oh, well.
Oh, no, don't spoil it for him.
No, I won't. Don't worry. But the thing is, I've actually never completed the game. I sort of turned sour when you can get this human companion and something happens that...
Oh, yeah, you've already you told me about it ages ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when I was playing it today.
Oh, yeah. Have you met her yet, or...?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, like, to quickly finish off with the last two news stories, I've got one more of my own, and then Lindsay's got one. Okay. Blizzard bans a bunch of bots from Hearthstone. I mean, this isn't really, like, the news story I want to talk about. I just really want to, like, question this. Like, why have AFK bots? You know, I mean, I know it's cool, like, owning the highest ranked account, but if you're not playing, what's satisfying about it? What is satisfying about bots? Especially in a game like Hearthstone. Like, why bother? Really? I don't get it.
Well, it's just, you know, who has the bigger number thing, and if
who has the biggest penis?
Well, EP, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, you know, whenever people can cheat, they will cheat, even if it's, you know, a little quite nonsensical. There was this thing called SETI. I think it's still alive. This search for extraterrestrial life or something like that. That didn't really make sense when I said SETI and that acronym, but anyway. And yeah, a lot of people, you know, would sort of install the software on other people's computers to make sure that it would provide them with good results. I worked at a PC store when I found out that another PC store, whenever he had a computer in for repairs, he would install this with his username and stuff. And I remember at the time I thought, what the hell? That's kind of immoral because it makes your computer work, you know, 100% all the time. Yeah, but there wasn't anything to do about it. It was just, you know, delete it and say, don't go to that guy again.
But yeah, anyway, it's just a small news story. It's a big whoop, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason.
Yay for Blizzard actually paying attention and banning people. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
They will be banned until 2015. Hooray! Cool. That's all it is. Like, it literally was. I just wanted to ask that question. Why bloody do it? Why bother? Because I don't see the point in it. The only time I could see any sort of somewhat of a point is like botting in like World of Warcraft to like herb gathering bots. Like people do that because that makes you money in the game, and then when you actually play it, that means you don't have to do all the time grinding. You can just buy the stuff and have a better experience. That makes sense to me. Hearthstone, I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people do that. I don't get it why people do it in games that are supposed to show, you know, how good you are at something. Like I played a lot of Battlefield 4 because sad.
Aimbots.
Yeah, there's a lot of aimbots, and it's like, why would you even try it? It's nonsense. I mean, it's so it paints you in this light that doesn't match.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, let's say you were proven to be like the best player of all time, and once they see you play, you can't at all hit anything.
Yeah, anyway, right, let's move on to the final news story then. Lindsey, take it away.
Oh, well, mine's gonna be kind of like lackluster compared to all of yours. But Among the Sleep has announced free DLC on November 5th.
Main thing I'm actually looking forward to is watching Jesse play it.
When I first saw, like, previews and stuff like that, I was thinking, wow, what a cool concept to have a horror game based through the eyes of a 2-year-old.
And the only reason it's actually scary is because the kid, like, babies have these weird hallucinations. It's not actually happening.
Right.
It's just all a baby hallucination.
Right.
Really cool.
Which is...
And it has a great moral.
Right, and you're a baby. Like, you can't run away. Like, you're a baby. Like...
It's a really cool game. Like, I was really impressed with it. Oh, have we lost everyone?
Handsy when it comes to horror games. Like, I'm getting scared just, like, thinking about it. Like, if you guys want to see it on my YouTube channel, sure, fine, I'll do it. But, I won't like it.
I'll be in the call laughing at her.
Yeah. What else is new?
But, no, I think the main thing to take away from this news story is just, hey guys, there's some cool companies still out there that give free DLC. Do you know how cool, do you know how unique a concept that is? Free DLC. You know, when Risk of Rain was like, oh, by the way, we're adding 2 new characters in for free, I went apeshit. Because that's cool. That is... Mm-hmm. Companies do that more. Unlike Shadow of Mordor, like their season pass, I've looked at what you get. You get nothing. It's all crap.
Yeah,
and you have to pay money for it.
The season pass thing has been destroyed almost. Like
Dark Souls 2 had a good season pass.
Yeah, and controversially, DICE had a really good season pass with Battlefield. I mean, you got everything they released after that, and there's been no straying away from that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Season passes meant a different thing now. Season pass originally meant you would get all DLC ever released ever.
Yeah.
Any of it. Now it means you get the select DLC. I'm like, no. See, if you were releasing a season pass, that person that bought that, because they showed so much faith in you, deserves all of your DLC. Even the minor stuff, they deserve it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's developers
really
within.
Today.
I'm thinking it might be developers within the company because let's take I should say that right. Rockstar. GTA 5 sold so well that they haven't charged anything for the DLCs. They still have the in-app purchases or I'm thinking Android right now. That you can buy the microtransactions. Yeah, there it was. But the DLCs are completely free, and they're promising even more content once it's released for the next generation consoles. Right. So yeah,
has it not been released on Xbox One yet?
No, it's coming. I think it's coming this November, like 18th.
I'm supposed to be a guy that runs a podcast about news.
Well, there's a lot to keep track on.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, the gaming circuit. So, I don't know. Good on you, Krillbite. I appreciate and applaud you for coming out with other DLC because it's supposed to expand the story. Because a lot of people were like, oh, we wish the story had a little bit more. And they're like, we hear you! We hear you!
I'm honestly, I was happy with where the story ended. I thought it was fine. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because I think it has a great ending.
Right, I haven't played it and I haven't watched it.
But I was happy with the ending. I thought the ending was good. And I don't see where the DLC can go. I haven't watched the trailer yet, so I'll have to watch that and then...
It's interesting, the trailer.
But we'll see.
Spooky.
Spoopy!
Spooky!
Too spoopy.
Sometimes I feel like the horror games that focus too much on the atmosphere just isn't worth it. Like, I love Alien Isolation, but it's hard to get very long in that game. But another game like Amnesia, I seriously, after 30 seconds, I'm like, Alt F4, getting out of this. I'm not gonna touch it. So it's like, I really like...
I think the problem with a lot of horror games that I personally think Among the Sleep escaped was that, like games like Amnesia, after you play them after a while,
They aren't scary anymore.
it's not scary anymore. It's just annoying. You're like, oh, the moose dude's here again. Well, oh shit, gotta run away. It's not scary. It's annoying.
Yeah,
And I think Among the Sleep sort of avoided that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there wasn't an actual monster chasing you. Most of the time, it was just atmosphere. And it wasn't, like, constantly trying to scare you. There were just bits in it where it got really intense. And then other times, it is just the atmosphere creeping you out. Those are the best horror games, where you creep yourself out.
Yeah.
Because of your thoughts run wild. That's why, tip for any game developer, or especially movies, don't show the monster in a scary film. Because then as soon as you see the monster, it stops being scary.
And don't use crappy CG.
And don't use crappy CG.
It's like our imaginations.
Use good CG.
Our imaginations are a lot more scary than any CG.
You want proof that people's imaginations are way freakier than bloody whatever you can ever create? Go read Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just a portal into, dude, your mind is effed.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of to mix it up a little. I don't know if you've seen people talk about mixing horror games with the Oculus Rift.
Oh,
I've watched some of them. No, never touching them.
I think that is such a good idea. Will
It's
I
evil.
ever be a part of it? No, I will not be a part of it. Will I watch YouTubers do it? Yes. Yes, I will.
Will I do it myself?
Will I do it myself? Nope, I'm too big of a pansy. You can all, screw off with that idea. No way, man. I can't even play normal horror games on, a screen. I get too scared and I throw the controller up. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I know Vanish has Oculus Rift support. I would play that. I would
on the
shit
Oculus
my
Rifty
pants,
Rift?
but I would play it, yeah.
No. I'd watch
I would
you.
play Vanish. I know
And
you
I'd
would,
laugh
and
at
you'd
you.
laugh. Right, okay, so before we go on a massive tangent and add another hour to this show, sorry, Chris, we love you. It's time for the question of the show.
Quick question.
Quick question, drop the question.
Question time. Because
Chris,
you
edit
made
in a
fun of
dubstep remix.
flashing lights.
Question time.
Because you made fun of me last time for being too philosophical. I've come up with a less intense
Well, I missed Decker's dick questions. Of would you rather wear arseless chaps?
Well, I'm sorry I'm not Decker. Decker, I love you.
Decker, we love you.
Decker, I love you. But would you rather have legs as long as your fingers, or fingers as long as your legs?
Oh, right. Would my fingers be as thick as my legs, or be like finger thickness, but as long as my legs?
They'd be leg thickness, but finger length.
Oh, no, like, if I had fingers as long as my legs, would they be finger thickness? Like, if my fingers were as long as my legs, would they be as thin
they'd be
as
finger
Oh, hell yeah! Fingers as long as legs! That'd be awesome. I'd be like a giant spider dude. I'd never be able to play video games again, but I'd make a living from scaring the crap out of people. I'd just be like, ooh, spooky. Oh, that would be so fun. That would be so fun. Well, that's my answer. Fingers as long as legs.
Kim?
Well, the opposite, I guess. You can always
Tiny,
something on your-
stubby legs.
or I'm going to walk on stilts the rest of my life.
Imagine having to get out of like an office chair.
I was about to say, Kim would just turn himself into a mech from XCOM.
I'd need
I
a
want Kim
parachute.
Leomec. Little parachute to get out of an office chair.
He'd use an umbrella.
Alright, Lindsay, what's your answer?
I'd have fingers as long as my legs.
Yeah.
Because I have tiny little stubby fingers. I would lose all of my height and I would be so sad, and we could start a sideshow business where we just scare the crap out of everybody and wave our fingers at people. It would be amazing. We'd be millionaires.
Must admit, it's probably the weirdest question I've ever heard. Ever.
But my question from the last show was, if if humans had the ability to fly, would anybody do it, or would we all take it for granted? I'd fly.
I thought that was like super duper philosophical.
Yeah, Matt was all like, "Whoa, philosophical question." I was like,
So
"Whoa."
deep.
Wait, so you
So
imagine a lot?
Hashtag deep.
You imagine a lot of people wouldn't be flying?
I think because of how humans are, like, if we had the ability to do something, like, because of what I'm studying and things like that, I have to take a psychology class to make people exercise. Everybody can exercise, but do we do it?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, exactly.
exercise?
I mean, we would if our survival depended on it.
Right, if your life depended on it, but if it was like exercise,
Well, no,
if life was-
that's no. A lot of people's lives in America and England depend on exercising. They don't do it.
Yeah, they don't do it. That's why they're obese. But you know, if flying was in a sense exercise, would people do it?
Yeah, if it was effort, not just like
If it was effort, like if it was extra effort.
not just like Superman whoosh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Like
think-
you got tired if you tried to fly.
But my arms did.
yeah. No, I mean, if you look at if you live in a city, you'll notice pigeons rarely fly. They always
Right.
walk around. Even sometimes they almost run over, and it's like they keep walking. And yeah, it's definitely a lot more energy to it would be a lot more energy. So I think a lot of people just wouldn't be flying. Yeah.
I love the idea of a lot of people walking around with wings and just
Yeah,
being
no,
like, I
think
could
in-
fly to work, but
It's like a whole bunch of like atrophied like masses of feathers on like people's backs.
Oh, we could have bat wings. Like,
oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, that was another thing. That
Yeah, that was
dragon
a
wings.
I've heard that question before. Yeah, like, would you rather have like angel wings or demon wings? And I was like, demon wings all the way. Mostly just because I won't have to clean feathers out of my house.
Yeah.
yeah, but at the same time, it would look like disgusting. I don't know if you've seen a bat.
Bat wings?
Dude,
No,
I couldn't.
bat wings
I
are
just-
cool.
I don't care. I could fly. I wouldn't care what I look like. I'd be like, bitch, I could fly.
I just saw a video of a small bat, baby bat or something being
Bats are
rescued.
cool.
Scott from my channel loves baby bats.
They
He's
aren't
obsessed
very
with them.
pretty though. I mean, it's like
Well,
lo-
neither are baby birds. You've seen a baby bird when
We're
it's
just being
hatched?
we're just being mean now.
well,
I raise birds from babies, and I think they're adorable.
I'm just saying, baby birds aren't normally the most attractive thing.
That's
no, there's definitely a point there. They usually have like bulging eyes and look great.
bulging eyes, just like.
No, it just when I saw this video, I was like, bats are really disgusting to look at. But that might be a very.
I'm sorry to all our bat viewers out there.
I love you, bat viewers.
Yeah, I love you too. Right, okay.
I love you, bird viewers, too. I have a bird, and I'm pretty sure you've all heard it throughout the course
Let's
of
go
the podcast.
to the outro. Holy shit.
We
It's
love you,
going
Chris.
to make some sense. I
love
hope
you, we
Chris
love you.
will be slightly entertained. By
Yeah,
this.
Chris is just gonna be like, I fucking hate you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show, so we're gonna go through who we are and where you can find us. I am Matt, also known as That Guy on YouTube. You can find me on MattMan522. My Twitter is @MattPerspective. I didn't plug myself a single time this show as well. That was
No,
weird.
good for you.
No, that's a bad thing. I have to plug myself constantly.
Oh, yeah, that's
In
the...
the
Yeah,
description bar.
So, I want someone to take that out of context. I plug myself constantly. You can find me at Matt Perspective. I Twitch occasionally at twitch.com/thatguyyoutube. Very rarely. I'm gonna try to do it more, I guess. I recently uploaded a guide for Penny Fox on Awesomenauts. I'm gonna be doing Lords of the Fallen. Oh, that's one of the games I don't think I mentioned I've been playing Lords of the Fallen. Oh, I did. I just didn't talk
You
about
did.
it. It's great. I wish DX Toria would work with it instead of Fraps, because Fraps is shit. But anyway, Lords of the Fallen will be going up soon. More Awesomenauts, and then anything you guys tell me to play. Lindsay, where can people find you?
People can't find me on YouTube yet, but I am taking suggestions on games that you would like to see me play. I'm only gonna get horror game suggestion now.
No, you'll get other games.
I'm planning on coming up with it soon. I'll give the information to Chris and he'll edit it in. But I'll get that all set
He'll
up.
like synth your voice into this show.
We'll just like edit it in. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming soon.
And Kim, where can people not find you? Yeah, they can't really find me anywhere, and I don't really. I'm very split. I focus on, I like gaming, I like PC hardware, and sometimes I get a little too much into politics. So I try and just try and post as little as possible. But we might, if there's room for it, you can put my Twitter in the description.
You have a Twitter?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, why aren't I following you?
Well, I only right now know what your Twitter handle is, so that's my excuse.
Well, we'll remedy this. I'm going to tweet you all the time now and just be like, "Hi, Kim," and say nothing of use. Never say anything of use. Just be like, "Hi, Kim." That'd be it.
Realize you guys can find me on Steam if you want.
Oh, that's a bad idea. This is a bad idea. I will never give out my Steam details. They occasionally get put. People find me anyway, so that's all I do. It's just like, if you want to play with me, you gotta work for it. But also a question. I know this is technically breaking the rules, but guys, if you want Kim to come back every now and then just type it in the comments down below. I think this is one of the. Chris, edit that out. No, keep it in. Make that the intro. Dubstep remix it. If you want Kim to return, let us know. Post it in the comments. Because I think this has been one of the best shows we've done. I think it's been really good. I've had a lot of fun. We didn't do half the crap we planned.
Oh, hey.
Well, actually, no, we did. Nice. We just didn't do the second topic.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have that for next time.
And I guess the shows are now going to be 2 hours long. So, whatever.
We love you, Chris.
I think this has been way too long now to edit down to an hour and a half, so...
I guess it's going to be a two-parter.
Let's
make 3 hours.
Yes, make it 3 hours. Why not? Okay, guys, what do you think about the situation in Cambodia? I don't even know if there is a situation in Cambodia, but let's talk about the situation in Cambodia. No. Right. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And thank you, Kim, for joining us.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure. Oh my god, I just accidentally started Final Fantasy. Stop it! And Lindsey, as always, thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And we will see you guys in 4 weeks. Hopefully, this time.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
Goodbye.
This is Viridian, and you're watching the 3D NPC Podcast Network. You may recognize my voice from my previous work, How to Subscribe to a Podcast. It's real easy. You just press a button. What mod should we cover next month? Make a suggestion in the comments. Oh, am I kidding? No one's listening. I might just as well tell you my deepest, darkest secret. Well, maybe I'll save that for the next month. I've heard some of you want me to start my own podcast. Well, first we'll need funding. Please visit my Kickstarter project at giveviridianyourmoney.com. This portion of the podcast is quite long, but that's because hidden in each of my messages is a secret code. If you crack it, you get the URL to a hidden podcast, where we discuss facial hair. Yeah, you really aren't missing anything. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the podcast, and for that you deserve a reward. Now if I can just figure out how to give it to you. I tried pushing it through the screen, but it's not working. Oh well, I guess I'll keep it. It's not like you need a jetpack anyway. I mean, what year does Chris think it is? 1968? Spoiler alert, it's not. but maybe it can be. If you press the button.